welcome back, League Night Softball listeners, watchers, viewers. Thanks for coming back. We're going to be doing another off-season training video, just like the T-work we did a few weeks back, maybe a month back now. But before we do that, I want to say a big thanks to Ryan at Riot Sports. I want to say, please go check us out on Spotify. Check out our Facebook page, which is going to be linked below. Rate, subscribe, ring bells, do all those things that you're supposed to do with all these, and follow along with us. We'd really appreciate it. But today, we're going to be talking about pitching with our buddy Jamie. Jamie's been pitching for a long time. How long have you been pitching?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Both ASA, USSSA?
I would say mainly ASA.
Okay, mainly ASA.
Is fairly new for me.
Okay. So you're used to the higher arc allowance and that sort of thing.
Correct.
So I guess we kind of want to start with just a little bit of your strategy as far as like basic strategy. Like, what's your main just go-to everyday pitch? Just like that. So it's going to be just like a underhand. Do you do like palm up, palm down?
I just do traditional
Palm up?
Palm up.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then show us that grip a little bit there too. So it looks like you got both seams kind of across, and then you got thumb on the seam in the back there too. So
And then I could variate like that, and then like that. Just about comfortability and how the pitch is flying that day.
Okay. And I know you've kind of said in the past that being on the seams gives you a little like extra friction, a little extra grip.
A lot extra grip and control.
Okay.
So a lot of times the ball will slip.
Yeah.
And this way it won't slip, and you have more control.
Right. And do you think, when you're talking about control, are you thinking more about like how much spin you can put on the ball? Or are you thinking more about left, right, deep, shallow, that sort of stuff?
So combo of everything.
Okay.
So it could be spin, it could be height,
Okay.
it could be short, whatever.
Gotcha. Basically just any direction you want to put it, that's what you're doing there.
Yep.
And so most of your pitches are that. You're basically, so huge percentage of your pitches are something
So they're
like
just
that.
variations
Right.
of this pitch.
Okay.
And then I could just kind of move from seam this side to this side or straight. So really just 3 options I use to make
Gotcha.
it simple.
Which would be like your regular pitch, then you got like curveball, screwball?
Yeah, those 3, and then I'll try to throw in a knuckle.
Okay.
If I'm feeling saucy.
Gotcha. Okay. If it sounds like it's going to work that day.
Exactly.
That works.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I just like to keep it simple and just go side to side.
Yeah.
And just kind of feel it out how it's progressing that day.
Okay.
Some pitches might work right away. Some pitches I might just not pitch anymore.
Gotcha.
That day.
So as far as like strategy, let's say I step up to the plate, like what are you doing first? I assume like first time around, you've got a strategy.
Throw a strike.
You're gonna throw
Right
a
away.
strike. I thought you were going to say throw it at me. You're just like, get that guy out of here.
Best pitch in softball is strike 1.
That's right.
I am just going to throw strikes.
Okay.
First pitch strikes is strike.
Got it. Okay. So you want to start with a strike.
Correct.
Got it.
I want to be ahead of the count. This way I am in control.
Right.
And then I could kind of mess with the batter.
Gotcha.
I don't want it to be the other way around, where I'm always behind.
Right.
Struggling and fighting to throw a strike.
Right, like worrying about what to throw, what are they looking for, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So let's say, so you're always trying for that first pitch strike. So let's say you get deep into a count, you get your guy with 2 strikes, you got some balls to use. What are you usually trying to do? What's the strategy there? Like, obviously you don't want to give them a cookie. You want to give them something nasty or something they don't want to hit.
Yeah, so I usually try to go deep.
Got it.
Deep is harder to hit, I think, than short.
Got it.
So anything I pitch, whatever my variations are, going to be deep. It's going to be deep inside, deep outside. Maybe they'll bite, maybe they won't.
Right.
But I'm not going to throw them a cookie every time. So I'm just going to switch it up.
Yeah.
I want to do different pitches as much as possible.
Okay.
I don't want them to see the same thing each time.
Right. So, obviously, you can hit more than one at bat. Like, do you do different things when you see them, like second bat, third at bat, fourth at bat in a game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of times people might know that I'm going to throw a first pitch strike a lot.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
I know that.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't worry, you play on his team.
That's right. Most of the time.
I'm going to throw balls on purpose.
Got it.
Especially the first one.
Right.
and then I'll throw strikes.
Right, because you got plenty to work with, right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to have everyone know to swing at the first pitch every
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And I'll just get crushed.
Now, does your strategy change if you're in a tournament game where maybe they don't have a courtesy foul and you have strike two? Like, will you do anything specific to try to draw batters to foul the ball off?
Yeah.
Or do you keep just messing with what you do by just throwing it deep every time?
In U-Trip?
Yeah.
In U-Trip, I'll maybe quick pitch.
Okay.
Maybe do some sort of, these kind of
The deeks and
the
the
deeks, and
fakes.
maybe underneath, maybe a windmill on the back. Not if I could do that ever. The legs.
Some people can. Some people can.
It just translates into the timing issue as well.
Gotcha.
You just want to give them something they're uncomfortable with, throw off their timing, hopefully they foul it off. No cookies when there's, when you're ahead of the count. If it's a full count, cookies fine. Pressure's on the batter. If you could throw your pitches, then you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I never really thought about it that way, but pressure is on the batter at that point. They have to do the right thing with it. And, yeah. And you're usually waiting for a strike, so
Exactly.
you just wind up and sometimes you miss. So that makes sense. All right, so we're going to talk about positioning a little bit. I want to just give you guys reference. So we've got two marks here in the front. First one's about 48 feet, and the other one's about 50, so pretty close to where it's going to be for like ASA or for like the box in a USSSA. So, yeah, go ahead and tell us a little bit about strategy on positioning.
So, I want to throw strikes. So I'm going to be up at right at the top, at the 48, and just throw a strike from here. And my goal is just...
Nice.
Then,
Camera, that was a strike, by the way.
and then I have two strikes now. So what I'll do is I'll move back and get up to 5-6 feet, and I'll start back here. I'll go over here, and then just throw it again. Trajectory is going to be different. Puts myself in a better position to field the ball, especially if it's a big hitter or a hard hitter. I'm already over here.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Do you ever take the strategy of trying to fall off to one side of the mound and come across the batter's face from time to time?
Yeah. If it's a better hitter, I'll definitely start out here. Maybe if it's a lefty,
Okay.
and I can actually curve it in towards him if it goes out.
Okay.
Or if it's a righty, maybe I want to go inside too. So here, or if I want to throw out. Yeah, but sure. I try to just mix it up as much as possible. That's the key. A lot of pitchers just going to do the same thing all day. No, you have to mix it up.
Yeah, so one thing that Jamie mentions that as a batter is always frustrating is when somebody's changing their height. So, if you get a lot of 8-footers for strike one, you're like, okay, perfect, I've got the trajectory on this, I'm ready to go. And then they come in with a 12 or 13-footer that's at the top of the limit. You're really changing sight lines, and you may waste one at 13 feet high, and now the batter's got to think about a lot more stuff, So also moving laterally from side to side, you're doing a lot of stuff that's making the batter have to think about and probably expand their zone to really make uncomfortable swings that aren't going to benefit them. All plays into keeping a batter off balance.
Absolutely correct.
all right, and I know you got some tips for like not just pitching, but like the defensive strategy of a pitcher. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a defensive pitcher is really important. So I'm just going to talk about when there's 2 outs and man on base, the pitcher is going to cover second base. So your infielders could actually move back a tad, okay, and I'm going to cover second. So pitch, we have 2 strikes, for example. I need to throw a good pitch, but I also need to get back to second. Pitch, back, cover second, ball is hit to second, boom, out.
So you're basically covering second for if there's a force coming, that sort of thing. That way, your second baseman, shortstop, if you got a middle infielder, they can be like way back.
Everyone can move back. I'm basically an extra fielder.
Yeah.
Covering the back.
Yeah, you're creating better angles for the middle infielders to be able to get to more balls, and they don't have to worry about covering second base.
Yeah.
You're almost getting an extra 5th man in the infield after a pitch with the 4-man outfield to really create a little bit extra leverage for the defense.
Exactly. And you should just get into a habit of doing that in league night, tournaments, what have you. It's really going to help out the defense a lot. And yeah, it's just going to make you a better pitcher as well. It's going to make the defense all around better. And just keep practicing it.
Yeah, one thing that I've also seen you do that you've taught me a lot about is not only does a pitcher become kind of more effective and take their game to the next level by covering second base, but a really effective pitcher is communicating with the infield every single play.
Yep.
You know, runners on first base, a comebacker, you're going to tell him, hey, shortstop, I'm coming to you on the comebacker.
Yep.
And you're putting that in the infielder's mind beforehand so they don't have to figure out who's got it. So that communication that a pitcher is, they're almost a field general beforehand because they know what to expect based on what they're going to do against a hitter. And that allows you to be a little bit more advantageous about how you're going to position the defense to, you know, potentially turn a single out into a double play, or an out that may not have been there will be there.
Like Jason says, it's all about communication. And if your shortstop or your 5-man or your third baseman is talking to you, that's great because you have a lot on your plate as a pitcher. So the more communication, the better. Sometimes a pitcher might forget to cover second.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that before. So I say, hey, shortstop, just remind me. There's 2 outs. I got it. Just remind me. So I'll hear, hey, Jamie, you got it. And I'll just do like a little hand motion, and I get it. Once you keep practicing and doing it, it's like anything, you'll get it. But just put it in your repertoire, and it'll just make things so much easier for you.
One thing that I've noticed a lot in the last month or so playing with you and playing with a guy that we've got that's a pretty experienced catcher that used to pitch was that dynamic of a catcher and a pitcher when it comes to the 2-strike situation of what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get them high? Are you trying to get them inside? But as an infielder and an outfielder, if you're paying attention to that, you're getting subtle cues about what the tendency of a spray will happen. So, you know, if you're going to try to get them high or deep, the expectation will be different than if you're going to jam them inside with 2 strikes. So you can almost cheat to the pull side if you know that they're going to go inside and potentially just shift the defense enough to, you know, give yourself an extra step that might mean the difference between an out and a single or a double.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on if it's league or U-trip, I'll always talk to my third baseman. If it's 2 strikes, I'm going to pitch inside. I'm going to let him know. If I like this, it's coming your way. I just want to let him know. So then I'll throw it inside, right?
Yep.
But in U-trip, you kind of want to pitch and kind of move. So if I pitch here, I want to move this way. So I can let the middle shot go through and the 5-man can get it. And if it's a lefty, so you just, wherever you throw it, you fade the opposite way to induce the ground ball to the 5-man.
Yep.
In league night's a little trickier. In league night, what I'll want to do is be more defensive. If there's a righty up, since I'm a lefty, I'm going to try to get everything in this zone here. And I'll let my shortstop know, hey, you get there. I got here. Don't play behind me.
And just to clarify for the listeners, when you mentioned league night, we're playing 4 men in the infield and 4 in the outfield, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So it's all about just communicating, like Jason said, to your infielders, what lane you have covered, what lane they have covered, and on 2 outs especially, just get yourself to second, and you know, your defensive strategy will just be so much better. So much better.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of, Jason's going to play the part of batter here. So he's going to be picking a spot in the box, and then Jamie's going to kind of give us an idea of what's his strategy here. What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to put the ball?
So we see Jason's kind of like right up at the plate, like kind of in the middle of the batter's box, which is kind of standard. So I'm just going to try to go a little deep on him. I'd just rather go deeper because it's harder to hit deeper, in my opinion. Yeah. And the way he's closer to the front of the plate, so I want to go deeper rather than short. Just test it out.
Cool.
So I'm just going to
Yeah, still a strike though, right?
Could be a strike, but like I said, hitting balls that are over your shoulder are way harder than the ones that are in front.
Right.
So now he's back. Now he's back in the batter's box. So I'm going to try a little shorter and maybe outside.
Cool.
So
yeah, that would have been a tough one. That would have been a tough one to hit.
I'm going to make him just go short and outside. Short and outside.
everything you're doing is trying to break down my swing so that I can't hit it hard.
And I will have my defense ready because I'm going to tell him where I'm throwing the ball. So in case it does hit where I want, defense will be ready. Short and outside.
Cool.
Again, he's still back. I'm just gonna keep hammering that side. Maybe he'll just bite. He could hit a line drive. Could pop it up. Now he's up again. So I'm gonna go deep again. Deep. Keep going deep. Stick to my strategy. Go deep. In your opinion, though, as a batter, do you think that my strategy is a good one, or does it matter?
I think the higher, deeper pitches are in general harder to hit. Yeah. The only thing I would think is if I'm this close in, I'd want to hammer you in my hands. So the only difference I would think is if somebody's up on the plate, is you want to pound them inside because they can't get the barrel anywhere with power on there.
So depending on who I have on this side,
very fair.
Then I'll do that for sure, and I'll go, hey. But if that side's weaker, I want to just pitch kind of to my stronger side.
Totally fair.
If I can. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but you're right. If you're close up, I should be going more inside, just to see. But if you're a really good hitter, then most good hitters are going to hit anything anyway.
Yeah.
So you're just rolling dice.
But yeah, I think in general, a fail-safe is always if you're higher and deeper, you know, when you've got people, especially if they're like baseball players converted to softball, their power zone is like, you know, belly to thigh.
Yeah.
And so unless they've really perfected their softball swing, when it comes to, you know, belly button to shoulders or even eyes, that's a completely different swing, and it's a lot harder to get great power on those unless you're doing the cam chop.
The other thing I would do is to a really good hitter that's crowded on the plate, I will throw a ball outside that will kind of come in on you. So
Okay. And what's the strategy behind that? Do you think they'll let it go, thinking that it's not going to be a strike?
So for 2 strikes, then I'm actually going for maybe he'll just not swing at the pitch.
Okay.
Or he might swing the last minute, and I'll get a grounder. So it's just one of those. I want to, confuse your timing, put you off kilter a little bit. Kind of a fool me pitch. You're seeing the same thing every time. You're gonna be ready. You're like, oh, Jamie, I'm crowding the plate. Jamie knows. He's like, he's gonna throw me outside and low. But guess what? I'm gonna throw a different pitch now that will come in on you, and then you might have to swing.
Yeah.
And it can have bounced already. So I'm just trying to mix it up as much as possible.
I love it.
That's the key.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah, keep them guessing. So normally I'd go deep. This time he's like, oh, he's on to me. So I'm gonna maybe see if he wants to get involved in that pitch. So just kind of use that curveball.
Oh, and then you trick them by getting them short.
Yeah. So the key is different pitches all the time.
Got it.
All right, for the last section here, we want to take a look at a few of Jamie's pitches. So these are his kind of standard pitch, straight underhand. So you're going to notice that they are kind of rolling back to front, straight over the top, kind of landing about the same position on the plate as from where he's releasing. So you notice here he's kind of releasing outside corner. It's going to still stay there, kind of land outside corner. And you're going to notice first, second, and third one here, kind of high, mid, low. So it gives you kind of a sense of what height can really do for just your standard pitch. The next one's here, we're going to take a look at curveball. So you're going to notice he's starting this kind of in the middle of the plate, and it's going to be moving in towards a right-handed batter. So you notice that's landing on the back inside corner of your strike zone or where your mat might be. Same thing here. This thing's going to start kind of outside, and then you're going to notice it's going to land just about middle of the plate and short. Now we've got some screwballs, so these are going to start kind of outside, mid-outside for a right-handed batter, and you're going to notice these are going to land way outside. So it's going to start out looking like a pitch you want to swing at as a righty, and then it's going to end up moving almost all the way to the outside corner, or sometimes even land in that left-handed batter's box. So it can be really tricky, and if it causes you to
not swing at all, then you might be still getting a strike on the outside corner. You're going to notice some of these are going to hit right on the edge. Thank you for watching, everyone. We really appreciate it. Depending on what platform you're watching us on, like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Anything you can do to let us know that you like what we're doing here. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.